Coming up this week, do you see anything? Hello everyone and welcome to Sunday Spoilers. This is a chance for us to be able to dive a little bit deeper into some thought about what worship can be for us this coming weekend. We know that worship is a great experience for us to encounter God. When we prepare ourselves for that, we're opening ourselves to be able to receive what God is offering to us, to go deeper into our faith, to go deeper into how God is speaking to us and guiding us and directing us. We've been looking at the questions that Jesus asks, some of the questions that Jesus asks throughout the Gospels. He asks 307 questions, and oftentimes they're questions that cause us to wrestle with things. They cause us to really think about things. They cause us to really try to come to an understanding of what the topic is that Jesus is trying to talk about. And so this week we're going to be looking at the question, do you see anything? Now, obviously, there's lots of things to see. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of objects that are out there in the world. There's a lot of viewpoints to have. There's a lot of ways to see things. And I think it sometimes, especially in today's world, there are so many things to understand. We live in the information age, and there's so much information that's out there, and so many things going on, so many things that catch our eye, so many things that kind of perk our focus and perk our interest. And Jesus asked the question, in the midst of all that, in the midst of all the things that are going on, do we see anything? And we're going to use as kind of a foundation for this, the text from Mark. And this is Mark chapter 8, verses 22 through 26. Hear now what this has to say. They came to Bethsaida, and some people brought a blind man and begged Jesus to touch him. He took the blind man by the hand and led him outside the village. When he had spit on the man's eyes and put his hands on him, Jesus asked, "Do you see anything?" He looked up and said, "I see people. They look like trees walking around." Once more, Jesus put his hands on the man's eyes. Then his eyes were opened. His sight was restored, and he saw everything clearly. Jesus sent him home saying, "Don't even go into the village." This is a healing story, obviously. This is a story that we hear fairly often in the Gospels where Jesus encounters someone who has some kind of physical impairment or some kind of illness, and Jesus heals them. This is the only time in all those healing stories where it's a two-part process. There are two steps that are involved in this process. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Jesus failed the first time. I think it's helping us to see something about a process. There's a process involved, that encountering Jesus isn't just a one-time thing. It's something that happens over and over and over again. And I think that's really getting at the heart of what it means to see things. The more able we are to be with Jesus, the more able we are to spend time with Jesus, the more able we are to understand what's going on around us, the more able we are to understand what's happening in our lives, the more we're able to understand what our direction is in the midst of that. We're able to see the things that we need to see. It helps us to prioritize. It helps us to focus on the things that are important for us to focus on. So I think that it's kind of getting to this overall idea of what it means to be a disciple, what it means to follow Jesus, that we are healed by him, obviously, but he helps us to see things. He helps us to interact with the world around us. And he gives us that understanding of what that can be. It's different for all of us. We all have different perspectives. We all have different ways of understanding things. And I think it's Jesus that really gives us that focus in life. Really gives us that opportunity to be able to see the things that he wants us to see, and to see those things the way that he wants for us to see those things. We're always engaged with that. We're always on that journey, and we're always trying to be the best that we possibly can on that journey. So I look forward to seeing you all this coming weekend, whether that be in person or online. I look forward to talking more about this, and I look forward to what we can be able to see together as we continue this journey that God has put us on as individual disciples and as the church that God has created. What do we see? Do we see anything? God bless everyone. Take care.